Assalamu alaikum class. Our today's topic is theater of absurd. That what actually theater of absurd is, because most of the writers in modern age, they wrote about absurdity, because they are living in ambiguous world. They are living in the world of hopelessness. They are living in the world of meaninglessness. That is why all these things can be seen clearly in the writings of modern age, that can be seen in their writing, that can be seen in literature. This absurdity is very clearly seen in the literature of modern age. It's a form of trauma that emphasizes the absurdity of human existence by employing disjointed repetition, meaningless dialogue, purposeless, confusing situation, and plots that lack realistic or logical development. That it means that the drama that is produced in this form, the drama that is categorized under the absurdity or under the theater of absurd, is without harmony, without sequence. There is no proper characterization, there are no proper plots, there is no proper setting. Theater of the absurd associated with existentialism. And what existentialism is, it means that people are modern people are struggling hard for their existence, to ensure that why they are living, to ensure their existence. They are doing all these things. They are working hard for their to make their identity visible to the society, to make whatever is happening with them, to make others realize about their identity, to make others realize why they are living, what is the purpose of their life. Theater of the absurd associated with existentialism. It takes the basis of existential philosophy. The playwright of the absurd views life existentially and express the senselessness of it. Most of the plays express a sense of wonder, incomprehension, and at times despair at the meaninglessness of human existence. That human beings are existing in this world, but there is no realization of it. The people, individuals, they trying hard, they struggling hard to make their existence realized to the people. They are struggling hard for their existence. They are under the identity crisis. They want to make their identity, they want to make their identity clear to themselves as well as to the society, that why they are living, what with which society, with which nation they belong to, what is the purpose of their living. They are trying hard to do all these things, but they failed to do this because they are under depressions. They are under the condition, under the situation of hopelessness, under the situation of meaninglessness. That is why they fail to get it realized that why they are existing. They are just under this depression. They are just forgetting their own existence. On one hand they try to make their identity visible, and on the other hand, at the same time, they consider life as meaningless. It takes the basis of existential philosophy. The playwrights absurd views life existentially and express the senselessness of it. There is incomprehension about life. There is no understanding of the writers towards life. They are seeing life as totally the world is a place of despair. The world is a place of destruction. The world is considered as the place that has no meaning at all for the people. That is the place of despair. That is the place of grief. That is the place that can never do positive things to the people. What is the historical background of theater of absurd? It was formed after World War II in Europe, mainly in France during the 1950s. Theater of the absurd came about as a reaction to World War II. the global nature of this war, and the resulting trauma of living under the theater of a nuclear annihilation put into stark perspective the essential precariousness of human life, that human beings are this much they are living the life of this much torture. They are living the life of hopelessness, that these things can clearly be seen in the writings of the modern people in the modern age, that writers are influenced, they are under this despair, they are under these all these types of negative aspects, that they can clearly seen this thing among the society, among the people in the society, among the people. So they express these things in form of writings, they express the characters real situation in form of writing, that whatever is happening to the people, which type of life they are living, which type of thoughts, which type of ideas they have, it can be seen in the writing of 20th century literature. Martin Esslin coined the phrase theater of absurd in his famous book of the same name. He was the person who introduced this term first time in his book, that is also named as theater of absurd. And Samuel Beckett, when he wrote Waiting for Godot, he just introduced all the characteristics of theater of absurd in that particular play. He gave the definition of absurd as out of harmony, that the theater, that is the play that comes under the category of theater of absurd, it means that play has no harmony, that play has no sequence, that play is totally ambiguous, that play is totally unclear to the readers. The absurdist playwrights give artistic expression to Albert Camus' existential philosophy, as illustrated in his essay The Myth of Sisyphus, that life is inherently meaningless. The myth of Sisyphus is the harbinger of the theater of the absurd. That the myth is harbinger of the theater of the absurd, that life is, according to this myth, life is meaningless, the life has no meaning, there is absurdity in world, there is absurdity in life. And same is the case with this literature that is produced under this term, that life is totally meaningless, life has no meaning at all, life is totally the thing that has no positive hopes in it, that we are living the life of destruction, we are living the life of totally senseless life. Samuel Beckett is known as the father of the theater of the absurd, and he introduced this term in his writing very clearly. And all the characteristics that are of theater of the absurd can clearly be seen in his plays. The main features of the theater of the absurd are meaninglessness of life, no wonder, no organized movement, lack of plot. And lack of plot means there is no proper beginning, no middle, no end at all, that you just start writing the play and you have no idea about where the play is from where the play is beginning, where you are going to reach the middle, and where is an end. Elements of existentialism, puzzled are stereotypical and archetypal, repetition of dialogues, nonsense language, characters are totally they are flawed and complex, comic scenes, and ending is absurd. One of the most important aspects of modern drama is its distrust of language as a means of communication. It means the people who are the supporter of the theater of the absurd, they consider language only as a vehicle to exchange the dialogues, to exchange the words that has no meaning at all, rather than the mean of communication. That what is communication? When you are exchanging the dialogues that have some meaning, that have some purpose. But according to the people who are the supporters of theater of absurd, they consider language as just the vehicle to exchange the words, to exchange, not to exchange the ideas, not to exchange whatever is happening in their minds, but they are just using the senseless language that has no meaning at all. Just to, they use language just to pass the time, they use language just to kill the time. They are just talking, their conversation is without meaning, their conversation is without theme, and they are just trusting language only for the time passing, that they have to communicate, they have to keep themselves busy in trivial talks, in useless talks, to just to pass the time. Language is nothing more than a vehicle for conventionalized, stereotyped, meaningless exchanges. The theatre of the absurd shows language as a very unreliable and insufficient tool of communication. Absurd drama uses conventionalized speech, cliches. Cliches mean repetition of the same dialogues again and again, because they have nothing to talk about, they have no any political or social or religious issue to discuss about. So they are repeating the same dialogues again and again in order to pass the time, in order just to convey whatever is going on in their mind. And whatever is in their mind is only confusion, is only hopelessness, is only meaninglessness of life. So is happened with their language, that their language is showing meaninglessness. Slogans and technical jargon which it distorts, parodies, and breaks down. By ridiculing conventionalized and stereotypes typed speech patterns, the theater of the absurd tries to make people aware of the possibility of going beyond everyday speech conventions and communicating more authentically. That it is totally, it is also, as modern literature is the modern writers are just breaking the tradition of writing. Same is the case with these people who are just following the theater of the absurd. They also breaking down all the traditions of drama, they are breaking down the traditions of using language, they are breaking down the tradition of making plot or about setting. And they are totally, as the writers are confused, uh, and sometimes they just want they just write these types of writings so that they can make the people realize that they are living this type of life and they have to change their lives. This can be the purpose of their writings. Absurd drama subverts logic, as in modern age uh, everyone is writing with the reasons and logics, with some purpose. There is didacticism, there must be some information, some instruction in the writings. But this theater of absurd, the absurd plays, they subverts logics. It relishes the unexpected and the logically impossible. That there is no, as there is no sequence in writing, as there is no harmony in writing, so is the case with the this particular logics and reasons, that they are not following any reason, they are not following any logics. The mode of most absurdist plays is tragic comedy, and tragic comedy means there are two types of themes, there are two types of genres in the same in the two types of themes are introducing in one form of one literature, that is tragedy as well as comedy. These are the two different things that can be introduced in one play. Can have a tragedy, or the play that can be considered as comedy. But in absurd play, there are tragic scenes as well as there are comic scenes. It means this also shows the breakdown of tradition. This also the deviation from the norms of writing, that they are introducing two things in one form. Writers associated with the theatre of the absurd have been particularly attracted to the tragic comedy. Tragic comedy is a form of drama that combines tragic and comic elements, sudden reversals, averted catastrophes, and happy endings were the standard ingredients of the form. That if it can be said that there is the repetition of the same action, repetition of the same dialogues, repetitions of the same incidents. If one thing is happening in one act, the same thing can be happened in the other act. People are just introduced, characters are just making comic scenes in order to relieve themselves, in order to give relief to the audience. That when people are just seeing the performance of absurd play, they might be getting bored by this out of harmony play, this out of sequence play. And in order to make them relief from this particular type of writing, they writers introduced comic scenes to make their moods somehow better, to make them fresh while seeing that particular performance of the absurd play. As the name also suggests, that absurdity is something ambiguous. Absurdity is can be considered as the play that has no clear meaning at all. It also creates a style of theatre which presented a world which cannot be logically explained. As logic can be explained when there is some sequence, when there is some harmony, but in these particular plays, there is no logic, there is no reason. Same is the case with the style. That style is without sequence. So whatever is presented to the world, that is also without any rational, without any logic, without any reason. It uses techniques that seem to be illogical to the theater world. That the techniques of writing plot, technique of making setting, technique of art of characterization, technique of the how the whole play, how the play is just arranged, that how the incidents are arranged. But in as the characters thoughts has no reasons, they are talking about senseless events, senseless experiences. Same is the case with the techniques. As technique is theme is absurd, so is the technique, so are the techniques of the plays. The techniques are also totally absurd. The arbitrary structure of the plays reflects the arbitrary and irrational nature of life. Structure of the play is arbitrary, that without sequence or without harmony, with no logics and reasons, the play reflects the arbitrary and irrational nature of life. Why is this happening? Why the absurdity is can be seen in the modern plays? Because they consider life as absurd, they consider life as irrational, so they are introducing this absurdity in their plays. As they are seeing life as the place of the worst place to live, the place without any hope, the place without any enjoyment, the place without any entertainment, without any pleasure. So is the case with the plays, that we have never seen any we have never seen the characters are enjoying the things. Rather, they have fragmented souls, they have fragmented thoughts, they have fragmented inward and outward structure. Fragmentation is everywhere, so is the fragmentation with their soul. So we can say that the effects of the life, the effects of happenings of the society just break the images, break the thoughts of the people. So they are not ready to accept the things, they are not ready to accept these destructions at the same time. So they just write like this in their plays. Structure. What is the structure? The structure of the plays structure is also totally a new form of structures are introduced by the writers. Structurally, it contrasts to a well-made play with beginning, middle, and neatly tied up ending. The plays by the absurdist playwrights often start at an arbitrary point and end just as arbitrarily. That, for example, in Waiting for Godot, two tramps are there who started waiting and ended in waiting. For whom they are waiting, he or she, that person never comes. They are talking, they are just keeping themselves busy in trivial acts, they are just keeping themselves in trivial talks by uh, only to kill the time, only to pass the time. This was the case of those two tramps, and same is the case with the people of modern age. They are also just living the life without any purpose, without any aim, without any struggle. The plots often deviate from the more traditional episodic structure and seem to be cyclic. Cyclic means the incidents, dialogues, experiences, all things are just repeating. One action is the characters are performing the same actions again and again. They are performing the same, they are uttering the same dialogue again and again, ending the same way as it begins. It rejects narrative continuity and the rigidity of logic. That there is no continuity, there is no rigidity, there is no logic at all. Rather, they are just the play is just going on, the dialogues are just uttering, but without purpose, without any sense, without any logic. The scenery is often unrecognizable, means setting is also unclear. Setting is also ambiguous. There is no proper recognition of these things in theater of absurd. The dialogue never seems to make any sense. Dialogues are without any proper logics. Dialogues are without any reason. Only there is the exchange of words without any meanings. They are just exchange of useless talks. They are just they are just exchanging the words in order to keep themselves busy, rather than to use a proper language, rather than to convey, to communicate, or rather than keep themselves, rather than doing some positive talks, they are just doing useless talks. The scenery is often unrecognizable, the dialogue never seems to make any sense. The general effect of absurd play is often a nightmare or dream-like atmosphere in which the protagonist is overwhelmed by the chaotic or irrational nature of the environment. Why it is dream-like? Why it is nightmare? Because people are under apprehensions. They are under the fears about future, about past, about present, that what is going to happen with their lives, what is the purpose of their lives. Most absurdist intermix farce and tragedy, in which the poignantly tragic may come upon the funny, or vice versa, that the funny things and the serious things are happening at the same time. What is the when there is some tragic scene, when there people are just suffering from any trauma, and at the same time there is the introduction of comic scene in order to make the people relax, in order to relieve them. Unlike the traditional theatre, which attempts to create a photographic representation of life as we see it, the theatre of the absurd aims to create ritual like mythological, archetypal, allegorical vision closely related to the world of dreams. Why why these are associated, these are comparable to the dreams? Because dreams are without reasons, dreams are without logic, that they have they are fragmented. So are the plays that are absurd, that they are without any reason, they are just ritual like, they are just myth like, that have no sense in it, that whenever you awake you just forget about your dreams. Same is the case with absurd plays, that when you are reading it, apparently you have seen that there is no meaning at all, there is no logic at all of writing these plays. The focal point of these dreams is often man's fundamental bewilderment and confusion, stemming from the fact that he has no answer to the basic existential questions: why are we live, why we have to die, why there is injustice and suffering. The focal point, the main point of writing these plays is bewilderment and confusion in the minds of the people. So is the case with the writings, that writings are uh, clearly showing the bewilderment, writings are clearly showing the confusions, as people are living the life of confusion, they are living the life of bewilderment, they do not know why they are here in this world, why they are why when they would die, what is the purpose of their lives, what why they are struggling. One of the most important aspect of absurd drama is its distrust of language as means of communication. These dramatists, these modern writers never trust on the language. They consider language as neither of means of communication. They just consider language in order to just to pass the time. The language is used as the vehicle of exchanging the dialogues that are totally meaningless. Language is nothing more than a vehicle for conventionalized stereotypes, meaningless exchanges. The theater of the absurd shows language as very unreliable and insufficient tool of communication. Absurd drama uses conventionalized speech, cliches, slogans, and technical jargons that have just a number of breaks down. They are not following any. They are not following any punctuation marks. That as the punctuation marks are considered as the very important things that can be used to express emotions, that can be used to express feelings, but without any punctuation marks, it means that there is no feelings, no emotions for the people. The mode of most absurdist play is tragic comedy. Writers associated with the theatre of absurd have attracted tragic comedy. There is the sudden reversals, there are averted catastrophes. The theatre of the absurd departs from realistic characters, situations, and all of the associated theatre conventions. They are just breaking the conventions, they are just deviating the norms and traditions of writing the plays. There is no sequence, there is no tradition, and there is no convention of writing the plays of absurdity. The theater of the absurd, there is no time and place and identity. All these things are ambiguous, they are fluid, and even basic casuality frequently breaks down. The characters in absurdist drama are lost and floating in an incomprehensible universe, because they consider universe as incomprehensible. They consider universe as without understanding. So are the characters. They are floating. They are living the life of confusion. They are living the life of hopelessness. They are living the life of ambiguity. They are under the condition of dilemma. So are the characters. People are flawed and complex, so are the characters of absurd play are flawed and complex. Many characters appear as automatons stuck in routines, speaking only in cliche. Characters are frequently stereotypical, archetypal, or flat characters types. The more complex characters are in crisis because the world around them is incomprehensible. they have seen destructions, and they have seen they have just seen deaths and diseases, so they are unable to understand life, they are unable to understand world. So are the characters in the play who are totally in confusions and in absurdity and in ambiguity and in non clarity. Characters in absurdist drama may also face the chaos of the world that science and logic have abandoned. Characters may find themselves trapped in a routine. The plots of many absurdist plays feature characters in interdependent spheres, commonly either two males or a male and a female. The two characters may be roughly equal or have a begrudging interdependence, like Vladimir and Estragon in Waiting for Godot, as both of the characters are depending on each other, but Vladimir is showing somehow a dominant and paternal type of behavior toward Estragon, as he is more he considered himself as more sensible than Estragon. He considered himself as more knowledgeable than Estragon. He most of the time he seems to guide Estragon in many ways of lives. Even he himself is in confusion. Plots are frequently cyclical, generally begins where the play ended. Some lines at the beginning responding to some lines at the end, and it can be assumed that each day the same actions will take place. Plots can consist of the absurd repetition of cliché and routine, as in Godot. Often there is a menacing outside force that remains a mystery, as in Waiting for Godot. Godot is mystery for the characters who are in the play, as well as for the people who are just watching that performance, or who are just reading that particular play. They just find a mysterious character in these particular plays who never comes, and it's only the interpretations that are left with the readers, that they can interpret that that mysterious creature might be this or might be like this. It's only the imaginative character, a mysterious character that has never been clear by the characters or by the readers or by the writers. Absence, emptiness, nothingness, and unresolved mysteries are central features in many absurdist plots. For example, the action of Godot is centered around the absence of man named Godot, for whom the characters perpetually wait and wait and wait the whole time. From the very beginning of the play to the end of the play, they were just waiting for Godot to come, who never shows his appearance in the play. The theater of the absurd is commonly associated with existentialism. Existentialistic idea came out of a time in society when there was a deep sense of despair following the Great Depression and World War II. There was a spirit of optimism in society that was destroyed by World War and its mid-century calamities, but after World War II, they are under the complete trauma and despair and grief, that they just started seeing life as just like a dream, or just like the thing that has no hope in it, that have no positive aspect. The people of the modern age are unable to see the positive side of life. They just started seeing the life as the negative thing. Existentialism in the search and journey for true self and true personal meaning in life. Most importantly, it is the arbitrary act that existentialism finds most objectionable. That is, when someone or society tries to impose or demand that their beliefs, values, or rules be faithfully accepted, one obeyed. Existentialists believe this destroys individualism and makes a person become whatever the people in power desire. Thus, they are dehumanized and reduced to being an object. they are these are the people who never want to be imposed by the ideas or beliefs or orders. Rather, the people who are the supporters of this philosophy, they just try to see the world as they have to follow, they have to make their own existence visible to the society rather than blindly following the rules set by the others. They never want to be under some superior person or any superior class. They want their own existence visible, they just want to be visible to all. Existentialism then stresses that a person's judgment is the determining factor for what is to be believed rather than by arbitrary religious or secular world values. In 20th century, this philosophy concerned with human existence, finding self and the meaning of life through free will, choice, and personal responsibility without any external laws or ethics or rules or traditions. They are just they try to make their own lives. They are trying to finding themselves. Existentialism then stresses that a person's judgment is the determining factor for what is to be believed rather than by religious or secular world values. They never want to be under any worldly orders or traditions or any religious orders. Rather, they want to make their own rules, they want to find themselves in their own world. Existentialism takes into consideration the underlying concepts that are human free will, human nature is chosen through life choices. A person is best when struggling against their individual nature, fighting for life. Decisions are not without stress and consequences. There are things that are not rational. Personal responsibility and discipline is crucial. Society is unnatural and its traditional religious and secular rules are arbitrary. Worldly desire is futile. It means they are just rejecting all the religious or secular values or secular beliefs. Rather, they are just making their own world. They are just living under the arbitrary conditions. They are living under the life of meaninglessness. So is the case with the people who so is the case with the people's thoughts. They are finding their own logics, they are finding their own personality in their own self, in their according to their own rules and logics and reasons. Friedrich Nietzsche was one of the most influential of all modern existentialist and postmodernist thinkers. He is considered the father of nihilism. And what is nihilism? Nihilism means there is no meaning of human existence. There is nothing nothing is there in life. Actually, this the concept of nihilism deals with the concept of nothingness, that the life is nothing, the actions has no meaning, there is nothing positive can be seen in the world. Conclusion, we can say that theater of the absurd is a theater that would produce collective archetypes and creates a modern mythology. That it means that has no that is just the breakdown of tradition. That is the dreamlike world, that is somehow a nightmare type world. It openly rebelled against conventional theater. It is surreal, illogical, conflictless, and plotless, and not surprisingly, the public's first reaction to this new theater was incomprehensible and rejection. That people are not ready to accept this new type of theater at once. Rather, in after reading it first time, they are just rejecting this unconventionalized play, without plot, without proper characterization, without setting, without any beginning and end. Rather, everything is under confusion. People are just at the start, they are just rejecting the idea, but with the passage of time, when they are just understanding the implied meanings, understanding the hidden meanings of the writer, of the people, about the characters, that all the modern people are facing this trauma. At that time, they find the importance of this particular play.